Welcome to Quick Sidebar, where we talk about anything and everything and get distracted often. I'm Dan, here with
Jake
and
Bradley.
And today we have a very special guest.
Bruce.
We finally have him on, folks. Willem Dafoe.
I just figured since we always talk shit about you, it'd only be appropriate for us to
We talked shit about Bruce in several episodes directly, so we finally decided to have him on the show.
How you doing, Bruce?
It is an honor to be eating at your salad bar, I must say.
Thank you.
Eating at my salad bar.
Yes.
Okay. What a way to start. This bite, why? Okay.
Last night when you were getting ready to be on the show, where you're like, okay, what am I gonna say? What am I?
Is that the line?
I forgot that
You woke up today like, oh shit.
Why is my alarm going off at like 8 a.m.?
I gotta record today.
I never wake up this early. Okay, Dan.
Hey, the music's still going, right?
God damn it.
Every time. So today is our special Halloween episode. Add scary sound effects.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've had the scary sound effects in Santa Claus, apparently.
I don't know if we should thank Curtis or if that's getting old.
Curtis,
I don't think Curtis deserves the thanks. He's been going off the chain lately.
Fuck Curtis.
Curtis, we may have to
We can get another symbols guy.
We're throwing him some shit.
If you're looking for work as a symbolist, is that a word? Symbolist? Symbolaya? Then call us. Email us at quicksidebar@gmail.com if you're looking for a job as a symbolaya. But today, what are we doing, guys? Bruce, you want to... I guess I'll just say Bruce looks like he's half asleep. This is just going to be a shit on Bruce fest. We're going to read you some scary stories that we've dug up, and then we're going to just do our thing and make fun of them and tear them apart and laugh at each other, basically. That's what our normal thing, but reading scary stories for Halloween.
These stories have, they've all been through a very rigorous testing phase. We didn't accept any that didn't release at least a quart of liquid into Dan's pants. So
wow, that's a lot of liquid.
You'll be sure that all of these stories are going to be very spooky.
My pants will be very wet.
Super spooky.
A quart. How much is a quart?
I don't hear the term quart.
How many changes of pants did you bring, Dan?
I know, but strangely enough, that was the exact amount of liquid.
That's incredible.
Right on the line. We had a measuring gun.
Real quick, is quart metric? Or is that U.S.?
That's U.S.
It is.
Yeah. It's 4 quarts in a gallon.
I'm about to say, how many quarts in a gallon?
How many cups in a quart?
I think 4.
I think 4 too.
Yeah, I think 4. That's what my gut says.
Cups.
You know.
And how many gallons are in an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
109.
I want to say it's like millions of gallons.
I want to say it's like 26,000.
Siri, how many gallons are in an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
Not a sponsor.
The 26.
I see that.
Okay, I found this on the web for how many gallons are in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
The first article that came up was urinating teen polluted 57 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Okay,
What a hero.
Wow, 57 of them.
the answer's not worth it. I think Bruce.
So 57 gallons, and that's basically what I got from that. So now that we've got all the urine talk out of the way, somehow we're back on pee. In this room, too. Last time we were in this room, we talked about pee.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, what's your first story? Oh, he's drinking. No, go ahead and drink. Drink your water. We want you to have a nice wet palate.
No. Drink your water, damn it.
I get it.
Okay.
We make sure our guests are hydrated on this show.
Bradley with his open air coffee cup, as he always has. How do you drive here with a cup? How?
Practice.
Do you literally hold it while you're driving?
Practice.
Because that's probably not safe, Bradley.
I do hold it while I'm driving.
Okay. Well,
Sometimes I put it between my legs.
We should bleep that because Bradley's dad's a cop. He knows now. See, so he's going to come.
Is that
Bradley.
illegal?
I don't know.
I drive with one hand. What can I say?
Yeah, I think
I'm a left-handed driver, by the way, but I'm right-handed. It's weird.
I drive primarily with my left hand.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I drive.
I definitely drive with my left
I think
hand.
it just depends on my mood.
We
honestly.
digress. Bruce,
Yeah,
I'm going to slide the mic over swiftly to you
For
right
the
in front of your mouth.
creepiness.
Can you give us a little test drive?
Give us your best Willem Dafoe impression. That's what we built you up
I
as.
don't even remember what he sounds like.
Scary story.
All right.
Okay.
Willem Dafoe is scary. Do it as Willem Dafoe.
You have our undivided attention, my friend.
I know that's not true, but I will begin anyway.
True at all, yeah.
Undivided.
Everyone just stare.
This story is called August Heat.
Sounds like something my mom would read.
Yeah, it's very sensual.
Ooh, I don't know.
Now you have my attention.
I have had what I believe to be the most remarkable day in my life, and while the events are still fresh in my mind, I wish to put them down on paper as clearly as possible. Let me say at the outset that my name is James Clarence Withencroft.
Should we write that down?
James Clarence Withencroft.
Withencroft.
So figure it out for yourselves.
I am 40 years old, in perfect health, never having known a day's illness. Ooh. By profession.
Foreshadowing?
He's 40? You sound older than 40.
Oh, he's had a rough life, okay?
No, but he's retelling the story of when
40.
he was 40.
By profession, I am an artist. Not a very successful one, but I earn enough money by my black and white work to satisfy my necessary wants. My only near relative, a sister, died 5 years ago, so that I am independent. I breakfasted this morning at 9, and after...
He breakfasted. It's a verb. It's a breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfasted.
Yeah.
Because you're breaking your fast.
This story is from 1910, Dan.
All right. English was different then. Okay, sorry. So
You had a
He
sister who
breakfasted
died.
at morning, and glancing through the morning paper, I lighted my pipe and proceeded to let... Is it lit?
What did he lit?
It's 19.
I lighted my pipe and proceeded to let my mind wander in the hope that I might chance upon some subject for my pencil. The room, though door and windows were open, was oppressively hot, and I had just made up my mind that the coolest and most comfortable place in the neighborhood would be the deep end of the public swimming bath when the idea came.
They had public baths back then? That's fun.
I began to draw. So intent was I on my work that I left my lunch untouched.
Oh, no.
Only stopping work when the clock of St. Jude's struck 4. The final result for a hurried sketch was, I felt sure, the best thing I had done. It showed a criminal in the dock immediately after the judge had pronounced sentence. The man was fat, enormously fat.
What does his body size have to do with it, Bruce?
They're describing the drawing.
That's
Dan.
rude, man. Come on.
The flesh hung in rolls about his chin. It creased his huge, stumpy neck. He was clean-shaven. Perhaps I should say a few days before he must have been clean-shaven, and almost bald. He stood in the dock, his short, clumsy fingers clasping the rail, looking straight in front of him. The feeling that his expression conveyed was not so much one of horror as of utter, absolute collapse. There seemed nothing in the man strong enough to sustain that mountain of flesh. I rolled up the sketch and, without quite knowing why, placed it in my pocket. And with the rare sense of happiness which the knowledge of a good thing well done gives, I left the house. I believe that I set out with the idea of calling upon Trenton, for I remember walking along Lytton Street and then turning to the right along Gilchrist Road at the bottom of the
Wait,
We're at work
what
along
city
the
is
new
this?
tram line.
For our fans listening, what city is this so they know where they can find these places?
I'm somewhere on the East Coast. Where's Trenton again?
Trenton, New Jersey?
Yeah. There you go. Set in New Jersey.
Yeah.
From there onward, I have only the vaguest recollection of where I went. The only thing of which I was fully conscious was the awful heat that came up from the dusty asphalt pavement as an almost palpable wave. I longed for the thunder promised by the great banks of copper-colored cloud that hung low over the western sky. It was 20 minutes to 7.
Well, I took stock of my bearings.
Wait, didn't the clock just strike 4, though? How was it already 7?
Okay, I'm skipping a little bit of the unnecessary.
I found myself standing before a gate that led into a yard bordered by a strip of thirsty earth where there were flowers, purple stock and scarlet geranium.
I think this guy thinks really highly of himself. You know,
He's
with
an
all his,
artist.
like really descriptive.
He's an artist.
He's an
Bradley.
artiste.
Above the entrance was a board with the inscription, Chaz Atkinson, monumental mason, worker in English and Italian marbles.
He's not a poet.
Yeah,
He's like
but he's
a painter or a
pretentious.
Where's the
drawer.
ghost?
There.
How long is this?
From the yard itself came a cheery whistle.
there a monster?
The noise of hammer blows and the cold sound of steel meeting stone. A sudden impulse made me enter. A man was sitting with his back towards me, busy at work on a slab
This is a
of
fat guy
curiously veined marble. He turned round as he heard my steps, and I stopped short. It was the man I had been drawing, whose portrait lay in my pocket.
No!
He sat there, huge and elephantine, the sweat pouring from his scalp,
This guy's got something against fat people.
which he wiped with a red
Leave that
silk
at the door,
handkerchief. But though the face was the same, the expression was absolutely different. He greeted me smiling, as if we were old friends, and shook my hand. I apologized for my intrusion. Everything is hot and glary outside, I said. This seems an oasis in the wilderness. I don't know about the oasis, he replied, but it's certainly hot as hell. Take a seat, sir. He pointed to the end of the gravestone on which he was at work, and I sat down.
The writer's name.
That's a beautiful piece of stone you've got hold of, I said. He shook his head. In a way it is, he answered. The surface here is as fine as anything you could wish, but there's a big flaw at the back, though I don't expect you'd ever notice it. It could never make really a good job of a bit of marble like that. It would be alright in the summer like this, it wouldn't mind the blasted heat. But wait till the winter comes. There's nothing quite like frost to find out the weak points in stone. Then what's it for? I asked. The man burst out laughing. You'd hardly believe me if I was to tell you it's for an exhibition, but it's the truth. Artists
Wow.
The old man has a stroke. Artists have
That's scary.
exhibitions. So do grocers and butchers. We have them too. All the latest little things in headstones, you know. He went on to talk of marbles. I said little, for I felt uneasy. There was something unnatural, uncanny in meeting this man. Mr. Atkinson finished his work, spat on the ground, and got up with a sigh of relief. There, what do you think of that? He said, with an air of evident pride. The inscription which I read for the first time was this: Sacred to the memory of James Clarence Winthencroft, born January 18th, 1860. He passed away very suddenly on August 20th, 19...
Who is that?
That's him.
I know.
Somebody-
I was just trying to fuck with bros. Come on, guys. I knew it was the guy.
Wait, what day is it? What day did this start?
Is he dead? Did he die?
Is he already dead?
We'll find out.
Oh.
How much longer is this?
It's almost done.
Okay.
For some time I sat in silence, then a cold shudder ran down my spine. I asked him where he had seen the name. Oh, I didn't see it anywhere, replied Mr. Atkinson. I wanted some name, and I put down the first that came into my head. Why do you want to know? It's a strange coincidence, but it happens to be mine. He gave a long, low whistle. And the dates? I can only answer for one of them, and that's correct. It's a rum go, he said. But he knew less
Wait,
than
are
I
they
did.
long lost lovers because he drew the fat guy and the fat guy wrote his name down so they're like connected?
A rum go?
Is that like red rum?
A rum go?
if we
It's
were to
something
read
they
backwards.
said in
A
1910.
rum go.
What did you say?
Ogmer? Ogmer. That's what you said.
1910 times. How stupid they were back then.
Sorry, Bruce.
Come inside and have some supper, said Mr. Atkinson. His wife is a cheery little woman with the flaky red cheeks of the country bred. Her husband introduced me as a friend of his who was an artist. The result was unfortunate, for after the sardines and watercress had been removed, she brought out a Bible, and I had to sit and express my admiration for nearly half an hour. I went outside and found Atkinson sitting on the gravestone smoking. We resumed the conversation at the point we had left off. You must excuse my asking, I said, but do you know of anything you've done for which you could be put on trial? He shook his head. I'm not a bankrupt. The business is prosperous enough. 3 years ago I gave turkeys to some of the guardians at Christmas, but that's all I can think of. And they were small ones, too, he added as an afterthought. He got up, fetched a can from the porch, and began to water the flowers. Twice a day regular in the hot weather, he said, and then the heat sometimes gets the better of the delicate ones. And ferns, good Lord, they could never stand it. Where do you live? I told him my address. It would take an hour's quick walk to get back home. It's like this, he said. Well, look at the matter straight. If you go back home tonight, you take your chance of accidents. A cart may run over you, and there's always banana skins and orange peel, to say nothing of fallen ladders.
Is that scary?
Falling ladders.
It's scary in 1910 or something.
Yeah, it was an epidemic back then.
Ladders just falling off
like the
buildings
plague?
and shit.
Yeah, it really was.
Imagine if like you had the plague and all your ladders were falling too.
Oh
Then
my
that's
God.
that's like your worst nightmare.
What
right
what
there.
would you have done to deserve
What if
that?
ladders just fell from the sky?
He spoke of the improbable. Intense seriousness.
I won't explain why I said that. That's fine.
That would have been laughable 6 hours before, but I did not laugh. The best thing we can do, he continued, is for you to stay here till 12 o'clock. We'll go upstairs and smoke. It may be cooler inside. To my surprise, I agreed.
How did that go? He's like, you want to smoke? Yeah, sure. Oh, my
Oh wow.
What are you doing? I'd love to. Stop it!
We are sitting now in a long, low room beneath the eaves. Atkinson has sent his wife to bed. He himself...
Sent his wife to bed.
Yes.
1910 times were weird.
Yeah.
He is himself busy sharpening some tools at a little oil stone, smoking one of my cigars the while. The air seems charged with thunder. I am writing this at a shaky table before the open window. The leg is cracked, and Atkinson, who seems a handy man with his tools, is going to mend it as soon as he finished putting an edge on his chisel. It is after 11 now. I shall be gone in less than an hour. But the heat is stifling. It is enough to send a man mad.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wait, that was it?
Yeah.
Where is the ghost?
There was no payoff.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to read off my phone.
All right.
Where was the monster, Bruce?
It's implied that the fat gravestone guy is gonna kill him.
Oh.
Right, duh.
Well, you're right.
Because
a
in
quart
his
of liquid
picture,
did just come out of my somewhere. In my pants.
a little bit out of his shin and some out of his knee. It's just, you know.
Oh my god.
I don't like that image.
Mostly came out of my knees. Very sweaty knees. Runs in the family.
Okay.
That's such a forceful expulsion of liquid from his knee.
Thanks, Bruce.
Spell the liquid fast.
Okay, does anyone else, who wants to go next?
I can go next.
All right, Bradley.
I have one that's about a 20th of that length.
Mine is but mine are but a fraction of that.
Okay, you said like between 10 and 15 minutes.
That's true. We did tell him
That's
that.
true. Well, who told him that?
Well, that's the value and the power of having your own podcast is you can make up whatever rules you want and then condemn people
And then just
for,
hang your guests out to dry.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
We've done that so far. Why would we treat you any better, Bruce?
Yeah. No,
You got
Bruce.
me there, Dan.
Bruce, thank you for starting us off.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was a
It was a brilliant.
It wasn't a great story, but it was well told.
Well,
yes.
you know, I figured for the Halloween episode, what better way to start it than a story set on August 20th, the scariest day of the year.
You know,
Because
I was
school
thinking
starts?
that exact same thing. I just didn't want to say it.
Wow.
Thank you, Jay.
Bruce, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
No, thank you.
So my story.
Dun dun.
My story is called The Licked Hand.
The what?
The licked hand.
Is that a sexual story? Bradley, this is scary, not sexual. Did you misread the email?
This is the sequel to
no.
August Heat.
Bradley has like a totally wrong. He's like, oh, scary.
geez.
Shit, you're right. I thought sexy.
Give me
story.
like
Damn
5
it.
minutes. I'll find something else. All right.
Once, there was a young girl and her dog who lived alone in a bad neighborhood.
That's pretty
Wait, how bad is the neighborhood?
like Detroit bad or?
Like Detroit bad.
Oh God, there's like no one in Detroit.
Jesus Christ. I'm terrified.
One night, this girl went about the house as she usually did, locking the doors and windows before bed. When she came to the very last window, she noticed it was just slightly open. She looked about, but didn't see anything.
There's a squirrel in her house.
She must have opened it a bit and forgotten to close it, she thought. So she closed the window and locked it and got ready for bed.
She locked whatever in with her.
She brushed her teeth, washed her face, and got into bed, her dog taking its usual place under the bed.
And under the bed?
Under the
Dogs
bed.
sleep under a bed.
Wait,
How
what?
big is the dog?
Is this like a
kind of dog?
lofted
Does it say the
mattress?
breed?
It's like a collie.
It's a
It's like a
collie.
medium-sized long hair. Okay, cool, got it.
Does she sleep on like a top bunk?
I guess so.
There you go. That's funny. You know, that top bunk is like a little doggy bed on the bottom bunk.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's like a mini version of that, you know? It's like not quite as high, so it's just a little doggy bed underneath.
So is it just like a special like sort of area carved out for the dog?
Yeah.
Orthopedic for the dog's joints. How old is the dog?
You know where they usually put like drawers in like some of those newer beds, like underneath the bed? You
Like
know?
my bed. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But instead it's like a dog bed there.
Oh, so you pull out the drawer.
No,
there's the
no,
dog
no.
bed. Then when the dog goes in the bed, you close the drawer.
No, it's just under the
doesn't seem
bed.
very
See,
safe.
if I put a dog bed under my bed, my dog would not sleep in it still, and so just come sleep on the top. I bought him a
Yeah.
dog bed, and he doesn't ever touch it.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you,
Ungrateful
Poe.
bastard.
You little jerk. Because he's a big fan. He does.
Her dog taking its usual place under the bed.
But what if the bed like collapses? Then it would crush the dog.
Yeah,
awful.
I think-
Yeah, that would
Wait,
suck.
how often do beds collapse?
Has
Maybe
this-
that happens.
I don't know, Dan.
Has this woman not seen Step Brothers?
Yeah.
She reached over and turned off the lamp on her bedside table. Instantly, the room fell dark, and she quickly drifted off to sleep.
He's just lights out.
Several hours later, she was awoken by a soft drip, drip, drip from the bathroom.
Oh, so
Bathrooms
it's a leaky,
typically drip, yeah.
leaky faucet. Okay.
She must not have turned the tap off all the way.
This stupid woman just leaving windows open, leaving taps on.
She was about to get up and check, but she had an uneasy feeling.
She has to poop. She has diarrhea.
She started to get a chill, and she reached her hand down toward her dog and received a comforting lick. Feeling safer, she went back to sleep.
Oh, licking hands.
Wait, she didn't even turn off the tap?
Oh, this bitch is utility, man.
She was soon awoken once more, the dripping getting louder. Drip, drip, drip,
Drop,
drip,
drop,
drip.
drop.
It's raining, man.
Hallelujah.
She reached her hand under the bed once more and received a few comforting licks. She tried to block out the noise and was soon able to fall asleep again. Soon after,
Bitch, you want to hear the drip?
soon after she woke again, she listened. Silence. Then drip.
Oh, God.
Finally, she decided to get up. She pulled the sheets off and stood up, walking slowly into the bathroom. She fumbled for the lights for a second, turning them on with a familiar click. She gasped in horror. There, lying in her bathtub, was her dog, torn and gutted.
Jesus.
On the wall just above, written in blood, "Humans can lick too."
What the fuck? Ew.
The end.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
that took a turn I wasn't expecting. Even though I kind of expected it to be a human.
So
I was kind of hoping the image I had in my head was like
Why the dog?
What
has
was
to die?
dripping? That's my. Was
the blood.
tap-
It was the blood. The blood of the dog.
like on the wall. It was dripping.
Yeah, I guess.
What?
I feel like if it's in the bathtub.
I didn't make up the story, Bruce. I'm just retelling
well, okay,
it.
so maybe she has hollow pipes, and so the blood in the bathtub from the dog was dripping down into the drain, and you just heard the drip.
there it
from,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Another context thing. Sorry, I should have got
Good,
I know,
good
I-
analysis.
You idiot.
There's a
When you
difference
paying
between good storytelling and good story listening. Okay, Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce.
I'd love for you to practice active listening today.
Yeah.
It's okay, Bruce. I'm here for you.
I'm actively listening so hard right now.
Ew. Thanks. Okay, my turn.
What? Don't give me.
Oh, yeah,
I want
that's not
Brian's
yours.
Cold open air coffee.
Okay, this story is called The Human Chair.
One.
Is this another weird sex one?
Yeah. What's?
Oh, shoot.
It was scary, not sexy. Come on,
Okay,
guys.
okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Hello. What you are about to read will shock you. I guess, sorry, should I say what you're about to listen to because I'm reading it?
Yeah,
I'll
What you're about to hear.
I'm really being taken out of it.
Hello. What you are about to listen to will shock you. I need to confess the strange and terrible crime I have committed, and I can't bear to keep my secret any longer. I beg you not to stop listening. For years, I have hidden myself away from the world. You see, I am hideously ugly.
Of course.
Did you write
Okay, Jake, read the story.
Sorry, I'm reading from my notes.
No, is this a diary entry?
Sorry, I thought I had Google pulled up and it was just my
This sounded strangely familiar.
At first I was thinking, this is so well written. Wow.
I've read this story before.
Okay.
I think I've heard this call before.
You see, I am hideously ugly. Too ugly to describe. You would be shocked and horrified at the sight of my face. I was a miserable and wretched creature because I never knew love. I never felt the affectionate touch of a hand or the warm feeling of a pair of lips brushing against mine. I was a carpenter by trade, and I worked all day in a factory, making furniture. My specialty is making chairs. My skilled hands carved the wood, screwed the pieces together, fashioned the backrests and armrests, and did the upholstery. As I worked, I felt like an artist creating a great masterpiece. When my chairs were finished, I would always test them out to make sure they were comfortable. It gave me a great thrill to imagine all the different people who would sit on the chair I created.
Is this a sex story?
We'll see. Jeez. I looked up scary stories for kids, so I sure hope not.
This is a chill. So it's going to end in something dumb.
Hey, you don't know.
But it turns out
I
was the chair.
And I can lick, too.
I was making humans.
Chair making humans.
Named Cher! All right. Unlike me, they had wonderful, happy lives. They had someone they loved and who would love them back. Every time I thought of them, I felt nothing but misery and despair. One day I was designing a new type of chair, and as I worked, a very strange idea began to take form in my mind. I changed the design and made a hollow space inside. It was a cavity large enough to fit a human body.
It's like Ed Gein.
Of course, I had to take out a lot of the wooden framework and the springs inside. The knees would be just below the seat. The head and upper body would be inside the backrest. Someone could sit inside the chair and no one would ever know they were there.
Is this for kids still?
Is this gonna be like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Danny DeVito like crawls out of the couch?
We'll see. I left a small space for supplies, like food and drinks, and even included a little potty for pee and poo.
Wait,
By the time I was
Is that real?
Say that.
Did you actually in the story?
I left a small space for supplies like food and drinks, and I even included a little potty for pee and poo.
What the fuck?
Wait, where's this gonna go?
This is
there
a
like
wooden
tube
chair.
coming out of the.
Wait, is he intending to be in the chair?
Yeah, I think
Guys,
so.
no one will fucking know
He wants
unless
human
we
comfort, and that means someone's sitting on him unknowingly
while he poos.
while he poops.
By the time I
Eats.
By the time I was finished, the chair had become a miniature home. God, this got to be one big fucking chair. Like, there's no way someone looks at it and be like, "That's a normal chair." There's nothing like that.
There's not a person inside of that chair pooping right now.
It's like a throne.
It's like when
like
you know,
golden.
it's like when you're a kid and you think that if you hold your breath while laying under the covers that you're still and no one can see you. Like, do you ever try and hide under the covers when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And it's like, from the outside, it's very clear that there is a human under the sheets. But because you're under there and you're like, I'm holding my breath, like I'm not moving, I'm not breathing, like of course no one can see me. Like that's what it feels like. I just imagine someone like in a chair, like constantly moving, like the elbow is like poking through their armrest and like their foot's hanging out and they're like, well, I can't see that.
So hot, he like opens up like a whoa. You're like watching the football. What the fuck? Sorry, it's just so hot and I'll leave you alone. Zips it back up.
I just need some fresh air, I'm sorry.
See, I'm just thinking of like the guy from August Heat sitting on the chair, and you just hear this.
Wait, okay, it connects. The guy from your story is in the chair. He starts to lick the person sitting in the chair. That's how they know. And then let's find out what the pooping thing.
Let's find out the pooping.
I don't understand. Why is that in the story? It's so dumb.
Maybe there's a point.
I stripped off my clothes and climbed inside the chair.
Guys, come on. Be gracious. This man is being gracious enough to share his story.
He doesn't have to be naked.
He didn't say naked.
He stripped off his clothes.
Okay,
Right,
so,
but he could be.
so
he
this
could be in his
sicko is going to
undergarments.
sit under someone naked with just fabric between him and this person?
While he poos.
While he poos.
What if he, what if his little thing starts to,
No, we don't know, Dan.
What if he gets a boner is what I'm saying, Jake? What happens then?
Then that's the lever for reclining the chair.
Our show just went from PG to PG-13.
It's never been PG. Nor has it ever been
Each and every one of our
What
episodes.
the fuck are you talking about?
Explicit.
This is a do not view type of thing. This is just don't listen.
All right, let's figure out what happened.
I stripped off my clothes and climbed inside the chair. Can you imagine how strange that felt?
I can.
It was a tight fit, but I managed to get used to it after a while. I was in complete darkness, but I could hear what was going on around me. I heard my colleagues walking around the factory looking for me. They had no idea that I was right under their noses.
I didn't see your clothes laying next to the chair.
And then they say, "Oh, look at this chair. Let's go give it to someone."
Chair, let's put it in a warehouse for the next 6 months.
This chair is not very big, but boy, is it heavy.
It's pretty heavy.
Dan from the chair market. I think he was about this weight.
His clothes. He leaves. He's naked somewhere.
His clothes lying next to this chair.
His clothes here.
What's this receipt for a small potty?
It's got a kidney potty. What?
What's this doing here?
Are these...
I smell Doritos. Someone eat Doritos.
It smells like Doritos and soda.
And Dan just from I don't know why I call him Dan, but his name's Dan. It's just
Oh shit! There's a rat in this one. Torch it, and they just burn it.
all right. I think the viewers are just dying to know what happens.
Opens a soda.
What the fuck?
It explodes.
Okay. Anyway,
Story.
Back to the sidebar.
After a while, some delivery men loaded me into a truck and transported me to a furniture store. They put me on display in the middle of a shop floor.
How does he know that? He can't see.
This is
Exclusive.
Nah, duh.
No, you're right. It smells like American Furniture Warehouse.
He smells the Swedish meatballs.
It's like I smelled this.
As the delivery guys were bringing them in, they go, "Okay, let's put this chair in the middle of the furniture
Hey,
store.
everybody, come sit on this huge chair.
In the middle of this furniture store that we are all at together."
okay.
We're all that together.
They put me on display in the middle of the shop floor and left me there. I was perfectly concealed and nobody was any the wiser. I was left like a crab or a turtle, but instead of a shell, I had my chair. Almost as soon as I arrived, customers started testing out the chair. I can't tell you how many unknown bottoms sat down on me.
Someone's just gonna rip
Same, dude.
Some of them had big, fat bottoms like a jellyfish, and others had thin, bony bottoms like a skeleton. Some had firm buttocks. Hold on. Some had firm buttocks like a horse, and others had chubby buttocks bouncing up and down on me like a rubber ball.
No, this is so bad. This is not okay.
I'm gonna finish.
It was an amazing feeling.
No.
I could feel the warmth of their flesh through the material. Their shoulders rested against my chest, and their arms and hands rested on mine. Not one of them suspected that the soft cushion they were sitting on was actually little old me.
Little old me.
Little old me.
He's talking about his
little
winky.
That's his nickname for it.
Little old me.
Hey, little old me, how you doing?
It's not over yet.
Good morning.
Oh, it's not over.
All right.
Previously, because of my grotesque and disturbing appearance, people had always recoiled at the sight of me. But now, my skin was virtually touching theirs through a thin layer of cloth. Hidden inside the chair, I imagined myself hugging them, kissing them, and wrapping my arms around them in a passionate embrace. Of course, it was a strange sort of existence. After spending, I appreciate that this guy has some sort of like conscience, like awareness. Like this was strange. At least he's not totally like this was a dream. Like this was amazing.
I just imagine
he gets pretty into just the assortment of butts.
I guess I think I just want to. Let's try and find the good. I appreciate that he acknowledges that this is strange.
Does it ever say what makes him so ugly? Does he have like a...
How close are you to the end?
I'm pretty close.
Okay. All right, it's just
I really want to
no more comments. Just let him finish it. Then we can. Unless he talks about more butt sizes, that's weird. Butt shapes.
Okay. Of course, it was a strange sort of existence. After spending so long inside the chair, sitting in the same position, my muscles started to wither away. I could barely move, and my body was crooked and bent. I was folded up like a contortionist, but I didn't care. All I could think about was the exquisite feeling of having people sit on me. One day, somebody bought my chair. The delivery men picked me up, put me in the back of a van, and brought me to the home of a nice family. They put me in their living room, facing the TV. Within days, every member of the family had sat on me at least once.
This is not okay.
I was in heaven.
This is not okay.
But there was one member of the family I loved more than all the others.
Oh no, Grandma.
This person was very special to me, and as time went on, I began to fall in love with them.
Oh, what the fuck?
I couldn't help myself. Whenever they sat on me, I tried to make my knees as comfortable as possible for them. Whenever they leaned back on me, I would embrace them more warmly and make them nice and snug.
Oh, I didn't know this was a massage chair. Guys inside.
Honey, did you know you bought the massage version? This is great.
It's crazy. You don't even have to plug it in.
Where do we plug this in? The back massage on this is fantastic. I mean, really gets the glutes.
No, it's interesting. The back massage, it almost feels like someone's just kissing my back. It's very gentle. It's gentile.
Also kind of feels like I'm sitting on a pole sometimes. It's a little weird. I don't know. It's okay. I kind of like it.
When they felt tired, I would move my knees back and forth, gently rocking them to sleep. You may think I was mad, but I was madly in love with this person. I became obsessed with them, and I longed for them to return my feelings. I reached the point where I felt that if only they knew I was there, they would fall in love with me too. The person loved to read, so I came up with a cunning plan. I wrote down my story and submitted it to a website they frequented. By now, you've probably guessed who I am talking about. That's right. It's you. Oh. All right, now I'll go find a scary story. Yeah, I'm done with my memoirs.
Is this Curtis? Is Curtis living in my chair?
I just think of the Office episode when Kevin sits on Michael's knees and he's like, oh God. Getting 1,000 helium balloons.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I thought that was a great story. Dan, your turn.
Okay. Well, the one I had planned on doing was stupid short. So I found one that's a little longer. It's a little longer, not much. It's probably shorter than all of your... I haven't read it, though, so I don't know what's in store. So this is an experience for all of us to find together, okay? It's called... The Whispers. Sorry, I should have whispered that. It's called... The Whispers. Go. Sit on mine.
Sorry, I thought we were still going.
Okay, here we go. This is a story I do not often tell. I promise, sincerely, that this has scarred me for life, and although I have looked into psychological explanations for what I heard and natural explanations for what occurred, they remain unsatisfactory.
Is this a rhyming story?
Oh, well, maybe. I've never read it, I don't know. When I was a child, I was scared of the dark. I swore to my mother I heard voices in it. They were not evil, but they were not familiar, and so they scared me. It was not uncommon in the middle of the night for me to wake up and hear whispers. As I would call them when I was asking my mom. She figured they were just bumps in the night and typical kids' nightmare material. I tried often to explain to her that it was more than that they sounded different from one another, the way people's voices do. On some nights I would get so scared from these whispers that I would sleep in my mom's bed with her. It was an added bonus that the bathroom was directly outside of her bedroom for my late night tinkles.
Yes.
I should add at this point that when walking out into the hall to go to the bathroom, you look directly down the stairs that would lead you into my living room on the first floor, as my mom's bedroom was on the second floor. One such night, around Christmas, I awoke and felt the need to relieve myself. I walked out from the door and distinctly heard the phrase, "Look!" And to my astonishment, a red light, almost like a spotlight, was cast upon the wall at the very bottom of the stairs.
Rudolph!
The light had no other source. It was by itself, and I was transfixed by it. Being a kid, and it was only a few days from Christmas.
Wait, hold on. So someone's shining a laser pointer through.
No, it's a light
window.
on the bottom of the stairs.
It's a red light.
Spotlight.
A red
spotlight.
Oh, okay.
It's a spotlight.
Yeah, Bruce. Come on, context clues, you idiot. 2 days from Christmas, I knew what this light was. It was Santa.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, where's the story going?
How else could he get into my house to know I was being a good boy? Oh, this is a dog.
It's a 60-year-old man.
It's a dog. No, that's what it is. Because a good boy. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I was so excited. I began walking down the stairs to greet him, picking up my pace after the second step. It began to.
And then I tripped.
Just imagine a guy like slowly walking, hits the second step, and just jumps.
Pick up the pace after the second step as it began to creep off the wall and fade into the darkness of my living room. By it, I think he's talking about the light, I guess.
Yeah.
That's when I heard him. A very strong, masculine voice. Different from the first. Not at all like my father's. Not to say he isn't masculine, it's just distinctly different. It said, "Stop right now! Go back up those stairs!" I listened, turned around, and what happened next I am not sure I would believe if someone had told me the same story.
Did it come from the chair?
It was the chair.
Always come from the chair.
After reaching the top of the stairs, I heard a very loud crash that sent me running back to my mother's bed, where I jumped straight under the covers and stayed there the whole night.
Is his mother still alive? Is that the twist?
When we awoke the next morning, the poinsettia lights, little Christmas flower lights that glowed red, my mother had put on the railing down the stairs, were pulled straight to the bottom of the stairs, some broken from what seemed to be like a forceful tear, laying in a single pile. The dry sink in my living room had fallen from the wall.
Wait,
What?
what?
The dry sink in my living room had fallen from the wall. Okay. My mother could not explain it. My father was worried we had been victims of a home invasion. My sister was crying.
The non-masculine.
Wait a
father.
second. So, if he sleeps with his mom, but his dad's also in the house, do the mom and dad sleep in different?
Dude, it's like I Love Lucy. They have different beds.
I think the dad has something else going on.
He's the chair. This was. There was.
They've just come to accept that he lives in the chair.
There was nothing missing. Nothing missing. There was nothing missing. There was nothing missing. No one had broken in. There did not seem to be any reason this had happened. And then I saw it. And I kept quiet because I was so afraid I could not force words out of my mouth. It was the chair.
Oh.
The father's lover?
Yeah, that's
Sleepy Gary?
That's where this is going. Sleepy.
Not in the house, Sleepy Gary. There on the edge of the wooden dry sink, which had been facing up, there were 3 indentations where the finish on the wood had been worn, almost as if in a forceful grip. Something down there had grabbed it and thrown it down.
What? How do we know?
That was what the bang was. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
From before, the bang. Call back.
I thought it was a crash, not a bang.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what the crash was. I was mortified. After that day, I never heard a single voice again. I do not like to imagine what was waiting downstairs for me that night, if it was really anything at all. But I can tell you that the reality was that something had physically acted upon 2 things in my house near the bottom of that stairwell. After this, I had never heard another whisper again, which is sad, because in some ways I would have liked to thank the man. In parentheses, it says, masculine energy?
What?
With a question mark?
Yeah, literally. It says, which is sad, because in some ways I would have liked to thank the man, parentheses, masculine energy, end parentheses, that had stopped me from going down those stairs. This happened when I was 7.
Oh, okay.
I am 20 years old now. And because of this incident, I'm still afraid of the dark, especially shadowy stairwells. That was the dumbest story. I'm sorry, guys. That was stupid.
Okay, so
So it was the father's lover.
It was Santa.
In a rage.
No, it was Rudolph. He said, "Fuck you, kid. It's too early. Why are you here?" But the kid said, "But it's not Christmas Eve. Why are you here?"
So what did we learn?
That the internet's full of shit. That's what I learned. That's what I gathered.
Creepy shit. I think
Like some creepy ass creeps.
While Bruce, your story was what it was. I think it was the best, probably.
It was.
Bradley's was creepy.
Yeah, but his had a dog murdered in it.
Yeah, yours had a dead dog, which is bad. Yours had a pedophile, creepy sex offender in a chair.
No, he had a creature who just wanted love.
It wasn't a creature. It was a dude.
He was a creature. He
became a creature.
No,
Was it the rake?
Well, that was fun and stupid. So thanks for listening.
We have a special announcement.
Oh yeah, we do.
Jake is pregnant.
Oh, damn it, Bruce.
All right,
Sorry,
I guess
Maddie.
carry
Word
on.
is out.
Carry on to the.
Jake's pregnant. It's mine. Or maybe Bradley's. We're not quite sure yet. We're waiting for the test.
There's a lot of confusion.
It's Dan and Bradley's.
Together.
Gross.
It was
The chair. He sat on the chair when we were in there. I didn't know you were going to sit on me. I thought I had some alone time. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have a special announcement. We are in the final agreements of our very first sponsorship.
Yeah. And actually, it's actually a sponsor. We're for real. We're not being fuckers.
Yeah, no, seriously. Quick Sidebar is going to be partnering with Project Meta, a small clothing company dedicated to making the most comfortable, eco-friendly, and cost-effective clothing for gamers. We want you all to stay tuned to hear more about our sponsorship that's going to be starting next week. But for now, if you go onto Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you can see a little teaser trailer for our partnership with Project Meta.
Yeah. I can't wait to get my stuff because Red Dead 2 came out. I'm going to need some comfortable clothes to play that game.
That sounds like a very cool brand.
Thanks,
It is.
It is. Bruce, it's real, Bruce. This is a real thing.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm trying to say that
You look like you were either trying to hold it
a
or fart,
brand.
or Bradley farted and you smelled it. That was the look on your face. You were just like, this is a good brand.
What was that?
So anyway,
Holding a fart.
thank you all for your support.
Yeah, thank you.
Project Meta, for joining
Meta.
on board with Quick Sidebar.
Check them out, guys.
And yes,
Yeah, so
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the teaser.
And we'll keep you up to date. And now, before we end this episode, we're going to try something new with our guest, Bruce, who we didn't preface, actually. He's one of our acting buddies from school. So we know him. We've known him for a couple years now. Terrible actor. I don't know why they keep casting him, but he's still here. So he's here with us. So that's why we know him.
Gee, that's funny, Dan, because you casted me in my last show.
I did? Well,
Yep.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, that's true.
Interesting.
I was thinking back to Urinetown. I was like, what are you talking about?
No,
Bruce?
I was just your boss and you're in town.
Now onto our little bit that we like, our segment that we like to call
Lost Sidebars.
Oh yeah.
Lost Sidebar. So the idea behind this segment is, as we have guests come on, a lot of them hopefully have at least listened to a few episodes of our podcast and have opinions on things we talked about. And so now we're giving Bruce an opportunity, and we're going to give him
45 seconds.
45
seconds.
seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
1 minute. Fine. 1 minute
To express quick
to
opinion.
express anything that we've talked about in the past that you've been dying to get your opinions out about.
Starting. Wait.
We gotta wait 20 seconds to get to a minute.
No, I'm just gonna go to 45 and go.
Okay.
Oh, well, I thought that Dances with Wolves and The Last Samurai were better avatars than Avatar. Sorry about that, Jake.
Jake looks like he just got punched in the balls.
No interruptions.
The best Spider-Man was probably Tobey Maguire. I like smoothies as well.
Did you like Last Jedi?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
It's on the list.
What about zombies? What would you do during a zombie apocalypse?
Honestly, I think I'd probably be set because my parents live like half an hour away from any civilization.
Okay.
A bunch of guns.
Cake or pie?
Cake or pie?
Depends.
Is cheesecake a pie or a cake?
I don't eat cheesecake, so it's
Why not? Why don't you eat cheesecake? It's God's gift to man.
It's disgusting.
Okay, sorry. That's your opinion.
Are you gonna take a bunch of slices of
And-
like American cheese and just throw them on
It's not
art
art.
crackers?
Art.
What do you think art is?
Art?
Is
Who's
it
your favorite
dying?
villain?
Is art dying?
Is art dying? No, art will never die.
Do you like Keegan? Because we had him on.
Let's not put a label on it.
Okay, so you don't like Keegan? Cool.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, so that's it.
See you next time.
Whoop. Wait, do we need to do like the social... Follow us on social media.